Well, today I'm going to start a little series here on tools, what I use for tools and why I bought these and everything about them. Starting off with this one, which is a really important piece of equipment. This is a Grizzly combo lathe. It's a G9729. I bought this specifically because it has a 16-inch swing. It's really, really hard to find a lathe that doesn't cost $150,000 that has that big a swing, which I need for stuff like this. This is a one of the brake rotors, and I have to turn this end down to fit the rim. So I have to do every one of them. I can swing a 15-inch rim in here also. So that's coming really handy. And I do a lot of other work with this. This has the mill attachment on the top. I used to use that quite a bit. I don't think I've turned it on. There, that's the first time in about 4 years that it's actually been turned on. So I don't use that at all anymore. I've got a drill press I use instead because this took a lot of time to reset the vise and all that kind of stuff. Like everything else, Grizzly is an American company. I don't know exactly where they're based out of. This is obviously built in China, which pretty much everything is. You buy American, but you don't know where they get it from, if they manufacture it or if they just mark up the price and resell. Typically they mark up the price and resell. These rotors I buy from another American company, they're made in China, and everything is the way it is. The way to work with the Chinese is not to fight with them, but to work out a deal. So hopefully we can do that, because prices have really gone up quite a bit with all this wobbling. So hopefully that'll come to an end. But anyway, I really have most of my tools are either Eastwood or Grizzly. All my industrial tools are Grizzly. The biggest reason is, like this one is the only one I could find that fit the criteria. I think I paid, I'm guessing $3-4 grand for this thing. I can't remember offhand. It's been, I've had this for about 12 years, so it's hard for me to nail the price on it. But it's in excess of $3,000 I paid for it, which isn't a lot for a machine like this. It's got a lot of good things about it. I really like the idea that instead of having to run the feed here, I can stand back here, and it's a very slow, precise feed. In fact, I'm going to run a little bit here. So as you can see, it's nice. I stand back here. I'm wearing a shield because this stuff is pretty dangerous. It emits these little chunks, and I already got one of those in my eye, and that's no fun. You got to go to the doctor, and they got to grind it out of there. So I always wear a shield. I normally always wear glasses. Well, I always wear glasses anyway, but especially in this operation, I wear a shield and take all the protections. But I stand back here so I don't get hit with. A lot of times, you'll have hard metal in here, and you'll get a lot of spiral chips and everything come off of it, and they're hot, and they're flying all over here, but I'm not getting them standing back here. So this is really like a big plus on this thing. Some of the negatives, they've got a keyway in here that they cut, and there's a half nut in here that clamps onto this so it goes back and forth. This one's just about shot. They actually cut this groove in here after they thread it and everything, and the edges are sharp. So basically the half nut's brass, and the first one I chewed through that within a month. And so I went in here and I ground all these edges down, which was quite an undertaking. And the second one lasted a year or two, and now this one is starting to go bad, so I've got another one. And they charge, I think, $90 for the stupid things. I've got one here, and that's a $90 piece. So I think if I was to do anything different, I would put a standard 3/4 inch threaded rod in here with a nut, because I never disengage this thing. And I don't know why they put the groove in there to start with. because on this end it could just use a flat and it doesn't really need the keyway in there. So that's one big hit on this thing that I didn't like. But usually, you know, the biggest thing with Chinese stuff, I don't care where you buy it, if you get it from Harbor Freight is notorious for this. You buy a tool from Harbor Freight or a piece of equipment, you have to fix it before you can use it. Because out of the box, the stuff will never work right. And I did have to do some modifications on this initially just to get it to work. But once I got it going, it's just great. I think the power on the motor, I think they rated at 2 or 3 horse. It's probably about a 3/4 horse. I know this is probably rated at 2, it's about 3/4 horse. That's the other thing. If you buy anything electrical like this, like a motor from a Chinese company or a vendor that sells Chinese stuff, you might as well guarantee that you can divide it by 3. So they overrate all that stuff. But that aside, this thing has seen a lot of hours, and it's really good and solid yet. And except for the half nut and a couple minor things, it's been an excellent piece of equipment. For the money, I don't think I could have done better. So, you know, thumbs up on the Grizzly Lathe.